afternoon. My name is Brian Richardson, and I am the Director of Organizing for the New England Regional Council of Carpenters. I'd like to thank JCRC Director Jeremy Burton for his opportunity to let me share my thoughts with you all today, and why I stand here in solidarity with the greater Boston Jewish community and with the State of Israel as she defends her citizens from the Hamas terror network in Gaza. You may be wondering how it is an Irish Catholic kid from Boston came to be standing in front of you today. I grew up about 20 miles south of here in a little community called Hull. Hull has a very vibrant Jewish community, a lot of friends from home, and those contributions to our town I greatly admired, and I really valued what the community did for us. That animation grew tremendously, however, when I had the opportunity to visit Israel with other building trades leaders in the spring of 2009 as a guest of the History Group Labor Union on a trip co-sponsored by the New England Jewish Labor Committee. Our host from the History Group office gave us an amazing tour of Israel's very beautiful and very historic sites. We visited the many sites that are holy to Christians, Jews, and Muslims alike, and that most visitors, seek out when they go to Jerusalem. But our Israeli labor partners also gave us a unique view into Israel's dynamic, productive, and truly global economy. As a labor professional, I was impressed with the depth and the strength of the History Group, which along with other unions represents about 40% of the workers in the country, which is a far cry above the 12% we have in America. They represent workers across the entire national spectrum, from heavy industrial sites, manufacturing, government, and high tech. But more importantly, they represent workers of all faiths. During our visit, we had a great meeting with the History Group representatives in the Druze villages of Galat, Hakamal, and Izmir. In the discussions we had with our host during the course of our extensive travels, I came to realize that Israel faces many of the same challenges the U.S. economy and U.S. workers face. Global competition, a large population of undocumented workers who are easily exploited, growing wage gaps, and economic inequality. Despite this, the Israel I saw was a thriving country, contributing to the entire world with tremendous creativity in the fields of science, medicine, and technology. I came to understand that America and Israel have far more in common than we have differences, which in part explains the strong bonds of friendship that unite both countries. However, there was one aspect of life in Israel that I didn't understand until I had witnessed it with my own eyes, and just how close Israel's enemies are in proximity. Early in our trip, we visited the grottos of Rosh HaNerikra and stood at the gate looking directly into Lebanon, a country that still has not recognized Israel's right to exist after even 66 years. Our History Group guides explained that Hezbollah terrorists had rained rockets down on Haifa for weeks in 2006, one of which had struck and killed several Israeli railway workers. While we were touring Rosh HaNerikra, several busloads of excited teenagers met us at the trip. One member of the group noticed that armed guards had to accompany the students. We wondered if the kids were from a correctional home, but we were told by our guides that sadly, all school groups in Israel had to have armed guards to protect them from terrorist attacks. Being from Boston, being from Massachusetts, it was really hard for us to fathom. And at that point, it really hit us, just how dangerous a place it is, how close the enemies were. On another day, we visited the Golden Heights. From the top, we visited the Sea of Galilee, and we looked into Syria, another sworn enemy, directly to the east. We saw the beautiful hills and valleys, but unfortunately they were off limits to hikers or outdoor enthusiasts because of the extensive minefields. Towards the end of our stay, we visited the Dead Sea in Masada. From there, Jordan was a handful of miles across the sea, and Egypt was a couple of miles across the desert. But having had the chance to see pretty much the whole of Israel during my 9-day visit, I realized just how small the country was, and more importantly, how vulnerable it was to attack by its enemies. I looked at Israel like I look at Massachusetts. It's small, and I wonder what would happen here in Massachusetts if New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, Connecticut were hostile border states, sending terror squads to kidnap or kill our citizens while shooting rocket barrages at our cities and towns. Wondering what it would be like to be a parent, wondering if my kids were going to be safe on a school trip or out at a bar or a club in Boston. I'm quite certain that we would respond with an immediate defensive and offensive military campaign to stop those attacks in order to protect our families, our friends, our cities, and our towns. After all, as Ronald Reagan so eloquently stated, we will not negotiate with terrorists. Like you, I understand just how real and close the dangers of Hamas terror network with its rockets and terror tunnels poses for Israel. I know that Hamas does not resent the Palestinians living in Gaza, but only its disastrous wish for the destruction of Israel. I, like all of you, hope for a solution that disarms the terrorists and enables Palestinians from Gaza to live comfortable lives in peace with their Israeli neighbors. That is why I'm here standing with you today in solidarity with Israel and the Jewish community to support fully Israel's rights and responsibility to defend itself and protect their citizens, as my own country would likely do. Thank you.